Hi there and welcome to the daily devotion for today, and we're looking at John chapter 2 verse 11, the wedding at Cana. It is a memorable fact that the Lord's first public miracle was performed at a wedding, and his last public miracle was performed at a funeral. Thus we see him as master of every situation, at life's gladdest hour and at life's saddest hour. There are two things we might observe about the wedding at Cana. First, there are the wedding guests. It says something for the bride and groom that they invited Jesus and his disciples to their wedding. How thankful they must have been when the crisis arose that they had included him when they thought of their marriage feast. And he came. Of course he did, as he comes to every wedding to which he is called. And he came to bless. John tells us nothing about the ceremony, nothing about the bride and groom, and nothing of the other guests save for Mary. From the prominence of Mary and the way she spoke to the servants, this may have been the wedding of one of her nephews or nieces, or even perhaps that of one of her children. Tradition gives the names of Esther and Thamar to the sisters of Jesus. His brothers were James, Joseph, Simon and Judas, Matthew 13 verse 55. Perhaps it was one of these who was getting married that day. Whoever the bride and groom were, they knew Jesus, and he was their specially invited wedding guest. Then there was the wedding gift. No doubt the couple received many wedding gifts that day. Jesus kept his until last. The wedding took place and the banquet began. Then tragedy struck. Someone whispered to Mary, "We've run out of wine." In those days, and to this day in Eastern lands, lavish hospitality was a sacred duty. Gloom, mortification, and bitter, indelible disgrace was about to ruin everything. Total calamity loomed. "They have no wine." As F.W. Borum says somewhere in one of his books, life always breaks down on the side of its exhilarations, its excitements, its joys. Mary passed on the sad news to Jesus. He gently disengaged himself from anything that might have suggested he acted on her request or wish. He knew too well how far some would go in the coming ages to promote her instead of him. Then he went to work, as he always does, quietly, competently, gloriously. There was plenty of water, even if there was no wine. He would simply turn the one into the other. It is a long, slow process to make wine. A vine must be planted, water and nourishment must be drawn up from its roots to its branches. The vine must produce flowers, insects must come and pollinate the plant. Little clusters of emerging grapes must appear. They must grow as rain and sunshine do their work. When ripe, the grapes must be picked and crushed. The flowing juice must be put into vats. It must ferment to turn into wine. Jesus simply telescoped the whole process into a miracle. As someone has said, the simple water, touched by grace divine, owned its creator and blushed into wine. It was not hard for him. After all, is he not the vine? John 15 verse 1. No doubt the bride and groom never stopped thanking their special wedding guest for his special wedding gift. God bless you today, wherever you're going. May you know his presence and his peace. And I'll see you tomorrow for another devotion.